peeps, it's Denise here from Lucky Witch, and a few people have asked me recently if I could share with you my daily, weekly, monthly action plans and things that I do in my business to get organized. I'm totally happy to do that. As you can see though, one of my daily actions is not to get dressed. I wear lululemon every single day, and I'm just happy that I had a shower today. Got my hair done. All right, here we go. Alright, so let's talk daily habits. Now the first thing I want to say is that I understand where this question is coming from, because a lot of people think that successful people are more organized than they really are. And it's also coming from a place of sometimes thinking you have to be perfect before you can be successful in your business and before you can make money. So I wanted to say that straight off the bat, that sometimes I'm organized, sometimes I'm not particularly organized, but it doesn't stop me from making money. And also I gave up perfectionism a long time ago, and so you might be surprised I'm actually not as organized as you think I am. But let's get on to the daily activities. And when I say daily, I don't do these every single day. I'm not perfect, as I said, but I try and do them, every day, every other day if I can. Now, I get asked questions about this more than pretty much anything else. I use these Kiki K chore lists. So they're supposed to be like, there's a little magnet on the back. You're supposed to put it on your fridge and write down your chores. I actually use this as a to-do list. And I do create one probably every couple of days. And you can see they get really messy because I'm a bit of a doodler. So, I start with this one. I started putting all my to-dos and crossing them out, and then it just turns into like random notes to myself. I sign my name. I've got love hearts and flowers written everywhere. But these are really handy just to see what it is that you have to do. And there's nothing more satisfying than crossing them off. So that's a pretty important daily activity that I do. Other daily things that I do is that I update my tracking list every single day with my social media numbers. Now, I don't do Facebook and Twitter numbers every single day, but I do my newsletter list size every single day. So as soon as I get to my desk in the morning, I log in, see what my newsletter size is at, and I put it into my spreadsheet. The reason why I do that is because I know that building a newsletter list and building my subscriber list means that more people will see my stuff, and more people will become customers, and more people will be in my Lucky Bitch world. So I really go on that quote. I think it's by Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets improved, and I really want to have that top of mind. Okay, let's see what else. The other thing that I do is that I obviously check my social media, and I like to answer people. So I always encourage people, don't email me. Don't email me. I hate email. But if you post on my wall or you send me a public tweet, I'm totally happy to answer questions. So, I go and check that probably more times than I should during the day, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook feeds, and I like to answer people personally. So that's really cool as well. What else do I do? Okay, I try and post at least one personal picture per day. Now, depending on what you do, maybe you're a fashion blogger, or you're a food blogger or a lifestyle blogger, you probably want to do more than that, because that's how people get to know and connect with you. So I try and, where's my phone? Somewhere around. I try and post a picture at least once a day. It's just something that's going on in my life. It could be behind the scenes of my business. It could just be a personal thing. And at first I was thinking, why would I do that? I'm a bit of a private person, but it actually is really good to connect with your readers. And I realized I love scrolling through my Instagram feed and just seeing what people are up to. I love seeing inside their closets, inside their fridges. I'm really nosy. And so I think, well, people who, are friends with me on that medium, they're probably really nosy as well. So why not? Okay, what else do I do? Okay, the other thing that I do is I track my income probably every 2 days or so. So I log into my PayPal account and I get my most recent statement for the month, and I update that on a spreadsheet as well. Again, what gets measured gets improved, and it's really motivating to see your income grow. Or say, for example, you haven't had a sale for a couple of days, or you haven't produced any income for a couple of days. It's motivating to go, okay, what am I going to do about this? Do I need to send out a promotion? Do I need to post something on Facebook or Twitter? Or do I need to send out an email? So that's another important thing. Let me have a look. Okay, and then probably the other thing that I do every day is I check on one of my mastermind groups. So a group that I'm in that is my mastermind with some other women that I'm a part of, but also in my Lucky Bitch Money Boot Camp. And I check in there every day just to see what's up, check on what my Lucky Bitch Money Boot Campers are up to. Sometimes post something motivational, sometimes just like something that people have posted. So they're all my daily ones. Let's go into weekly. Okay, so one thing that I do that's so important is that every week I meet with my assistant. And I probably waited way too long to get somebody to help me. At the moment, my assistant's only contracted for 5 hours a week, and she is a godsend. She does so much in that 5 hours a week. And, we meet, we talk about what blog posts are coming out, what needs to be done, like what content stuff needs to happen. And I find that having just that weekly accountability is really useful because sometimes there's things that I need to do to get to her. So that's a really important thing. The other thing that she does is that she checks all my email. So, once a week we'll see if there's anything that, she needs a response on, or if there's something that she wasn't sure about answering. That's the time when we catch up and do those. Okay, what else? Okay, once a week I also meet with my analytics guy. So this is kind of cool, but he helps me look at my sales funnels. He helps me look at my Google Analytics stats, make sure that, code on my website's all good, just all those kind of things. Okay, so they're the kind of weekly things that don't happen every single day. Let's go into monthly. Okay, so every month I go to my spreadsheet, and that's when I do all my final numbers of things. So that's when I update, my Facebook followers, my Twitter followers. I don't record Instagram at the moment, but maybe I should add that on there as well. My unique visitors for the month, like all those stats, and I put those in for the month. I also double check my income figures and make sure that they're all up to date for the month. And I also look at my book sales and make sure that they're all updated as well. Again, it's just so motivating to see those at a glance and see how far they've grown over time as well. That's really important. Okay, here's the cool thing too that I do once a month is with my bookkeeper, I send her paper receipts once a month. So throughout the month, I just have an express post envelope on my desk, and every time I get a paper receipt, I put it in there. So at the end of the month, I don't have to chase them up everywhere. I can just, rip off the side and just send it to her right at the end of the month. The other thing that I get my assistant to do now is that throughout the month, all of the electronic receipts go into a particular folder on my email. And once a month, she just forwards them all. Takes probably a while to do them, depending on how many things I purchased that month. And she forwards them all to my bookkeeper. And then after about a week or so, my bookkeeper sends me a report. And if there's any, outstanding receipts or anything like that, then I can chase those up. That is so simple. It's just the easiest thing to do to have those regular habits, just of sending things off once a month. So you don't have to think about it throughout, the whole thing, but it's a really simple system, which means that it's very rare that things fall through the cracks. Maybe she'll send back 3 or 4 things that we couldn't find receipts for, and my assistant just has to, Google around in my inbox and try and find them and send them off to her. So that's really good. Okay, what else do we do a month? I'm just looking at my list. Okay, so there's some things that I would like to do each month. Things like, just mapping out launches and getting really organized for the month ahead. But to be honest, I do set an income goal, but I wouldn't say I super plan out the whole month. One thing that does happen as well is that I've got a monthly maintenance package on my website, and so the team, they go in and they do any backups that need to happen or any updates as well. So I've got that peace of mind that happens every month without me doing it. Okay, let's move on to quarterly. Okay, so this is another good money thing, is that with my accountant, I meet with him quarterly. And it's not like I've got a huge $1 million business yet that, I really super need to. But again, having that regular accountability every quarter means that we can sit down, he can ask me about my income, he can ask me about any financial goals that I've got or any things that are upcoming that I need to think about. We can talk about taxes, we can talk about GST, which is an Australian value-added tax kind of thing. And also we pretty much do one thing a quarter. So in the last meeting, we were talking about incorporating, so changing my business structure from a solo entrepreneur to a company structure. So that's what we worked on this quarter, is to do all the paperwork for that. Next quarter, we might look at something else. So it's really important, I think, just to have those quarterly kind of financial checkups just to make sure everything's on track. Okay. Obviously, each quarter I have to pay my GST bill, which is our goods and services tax in Australia. You might not have that where you are, but it's another accounting thing that we have to do. What I would love to do each quarter actually is to make sure all my bookwork is up to date. If there's any things I need to gather for my taxes at the end of the year that my bookkeeper doesn't do, I would love to do that quarterly just to kind of get organised with it, but I'm not always that organised. The other thing that I think you should do quarterly is to review your prices. Now, this is what I used to do back when I was doing coaching, is that every quarter I would pretty much increase my prices. Not because, not to be a dick, right, and increase your prices just for the sake of it, but you've really got to look at, okay, in that last quarter, what really great client results have I had? What courses have I done? What things have I learned and implemented that can really take my clients forward? So if you're a business coach like I am and I was, it's like every time you learn something, every time you get better at what you do, you're shortcutting the amount of time it takes for your clients to do the same thing. So then you can actually justify a price increase, or you're getting better at your craft, or you start working with higher priced clients. So I think having that quarterly review of, okay, how am I going with my income goals? How am I going with my pricing? I think that's really useful to do. Okay, so that's kind of quarterly. And then yearly, this is kind of, again, it's boring tax stuff, but it's doing your taxes, it's setting your yearly goals. I really like to do a review of the year, and I'll post the link below, of what I achieved in that year. What was my income? What did I do well? What did I not do so well? What could I improve for next year? And it's setting those kind of yearly goals as well. The other thing that you might want to do is to look at what you need for the year ahead. I love doing this at the end of the year or at any time really, and go, okay, consciously, what courses would I like to do next year? What mentors would I like to work with? What gaps have I got that I might want to look at to see if there's anything that I can do? 1 year I was like, oh, I need money stuff. I really need to work on my money stuff for the year ahead. So I set the intention that I wanted to do a money course, and the perfect money course came up. So I think it's important to set that with intention so you don't just get caught up in the hype of someone's program or course and spend a lot of money that you don't necessarily need to spend. The other thing I like to do is once a year is to look at my programs and products, cut out the ones that don't really feel good to me anymore and update the ones that I really like. So that is my daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly things that I do in my business. As I said, some things are organised, some things are not so organised. I'm going to post it all down below for you and put some links to different resources that I use as well. So I hope that helped. And if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, I would love it if you come over to luckybitch.com, where I have oodles and oodles of resources for you and inspiration to make more money in your business and have more fun while you're doing it. So that's me, Denise from Lucky Bitch, and I'll see you soon. Bye. I just forgot a really important weekly action, and it's to do a weekly blog post and newsletter. Can't believe I forgot this one, because this one is so incredibly important. It's a really important weekly discipline. I've been in this particular business for 3 years now, and it's pretty rare that I miss a week of blogging. It's so important to do that because people need to hear from you. It's a really great discipline in just solidifying your message, figuring out what you like to talk about, all that kind of thing. It's a really good discipline if you want to write a book one day. And it's just getting into the rhythm of what works for you. Is it a video post? Is it a written post? Do you like writing short ones, long ones? It really doesn't matter. So something that I do whenever I have an idea is I start a draft post. And then if I'm stuck on ideas, I just look at my draft post and I try and finish one. Or like today, this one is inspired by somebody asking me today if I can post what I do on a daily, weekly basis. And sending out your newsletter each week is super important as well. Again, not necessarily for every business, but I think it is. It's just that, bi-weekly can sometimes feel a bit too long. Monthly is way too long between people hearing from you. So that's a super important weekly action.